The day I found out my husband was cheating, it wasn't with a stranger. It was with the one person I trusted most, my best friend. The betrayal cut so deep I thought I'd never recover. But instead of breaking me, it lit a fire. Because when their big wedding day came, I made sure it would be remembered. For all the wrong reasons. When I first met Daniel, I thought I had finally won at life. He was charming, ambitious, and made me feel like I was the only woman in the world. And Lily, my best friend, was right there by my side through it all, helping me pick outfits for dates, cheering when Daniel proposed, smiling at every milestone. Looking back now, the irony makes me sick. But even before the affair, there were cracks I refused to see. Daniel had this way of making me feel small, in subtle moments. When I got promoted at work, instead of congratulating me, he joked, "Don't get too cocky. It's just middle management." And Lily laughed along, brushing it off like it was nothing. That stung, but I told myself they were teasing. Then came my birthday. I spent hours cooking, setting candles, making everything perfect. Daniel arrived late with Lily, both of them smiling, like they'd just come from the best day ever. My gift, a rushed bouquet of grocery store flowers. He barely kissed me before turning the conversation to Lily's new project. Everyone raised their glasses to her, while my special night faded into the background. Little moments piled up, chipping away at me. Daniel canceled our date nights, always busy, or helping Lily. When I questioned him, he sighed, called me paranoid, and Lily would text me later, "Don't be mad at him, he's just busy." And the worst part, I believed them. I wanted to believe them. The breaking point before the betrayal came at our anniversary dinner. I had planned a surprise getaway, but Daniel forgot because Lily had invited him to her art showcase. I sat alone at a table for two, and later, I watched pictures of them laughing together flood my feed. I should have connected the dots, but love blinds you in cruel ways. When I finally discovered the truth, it wasn't cinematic. It was messy, raw, devastating. I came home early from work, arms full of takeout. His car was in the driveway. Laughter echoed from the living room. I smiled at first, thinking he had friends over, but when I turned the corner, my world shattered. There they were, Daniel and Lily, sitting close, whispering like teenagers, her wearing his hoodie, my hoodie. She brushed his hair back the way I always did. He looked up, his face drained of color. "And Lily," she smirked. I dropped the food. Silence filled the room. Daniel stammered, "It's not what it looks like." But it was. It was exactly what it looked like. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I simply walked out, numb. That night, driving aimlessly, every moment I'd ignored replayed in my head. The excuses, the laughter, the lies, all the pieces fell into place, and the picture was uglier than I ever imagined. For days, I stayed silent. Daniel sent weak apologies, texts saying he was confused, and Lily, she actually called me, claiming I was overreacting, as if catching your husband with your best friend was something you just shrugged off. At first, I thought of leaving quietly, divorce, cutting her out, starting over, but every time I pictured them walking down the aisle someday, smug, smiling, my anger grew. Why should they get happily ever after? Then came the invitation, a creamy white envelope in Lily's elegant handwriting. Inside the announcement of their wedding, they didn't even hide it. No shame, no regret. That was the moment, the exact moment something in me snapped. I sat at my kitchen table, staring at that invitation. At first, my hands shook. Then, slowly, they steadied. The tears dried. The pain hardened into something sharper. I realized I had a choice: stay broken, or remind them exactly who I was. So I started planning. The next morning, I marched into the jewelry store where Daniel bought my ring. The man behind the counter smiled, asked how married life was. I smiled back, handed him the ring, and said, "I don't need this anymore." With the cash, I bought myself a crimson red designer dress. Bold, unapologetic, dangerous. That night, staring into the mirror in that dress, I didn't see a victim. I saw someone ready to reclaim her power. The wedding day arrived. I was chimерically calm. The venue was lavish, dripping with flowers, a picture-perfect fairy tale. I stood at the back as Lily floated down the aisle, her smug smile fixed in place. Daniel beamed at her as if I never existed. The vows began, each word another knife, until finally the officiant asked, "If anyone objects, speak now." And I rose. All eyes turned. Whispers rippled through the room. I walked forward slowly, pulled a black folder from my clutch. "I do," I said. "I object." Gasps echoed. Inside that folder, months of evidence, texts, photos, hotel receipts, the proof of their lies. The officiant's face paled with every page. You deserve the truth before you celebrate lies, I told the guests. Lily's mask cracked. Her mother covered her mouth. Daniel's groomsman looked away. I pulled out one last thing, my old engagement ring. I tossed it onto the altar. This was supposed to mean forever, but apparently, forever only lasts until my best friend comes along. The silence was suffocating. The officiant closed the folder. I cannot proceed with this ceremony. The wedding was over. I turned on my heel, the crimson dress swaying with each step. I didn't look back. Behind me, their dream crumbled. And for the first time in months, I felt powerful. The aftermath was chaos. Calls, voicemails, apologies. Daniel's mother wept. Friends admitted they had a feeling. And Lily, she sent one bitter text. You ruined my life. I didn't reply. Because she was right. Daniel begged for forgiveness. Even showed up at my door. I let him talk, plead, excuse, and I closed the door in his face. That silence was louder than any revenge could be, because I realized I didn't need their approval anymore. That crimson dress still hangs in my closet, not as a reminder of them, but of the day I took my power back. Because revenge wasn't just about exposing them, it was about freeing myself. And I did. Have you ever been betrayed by the two people you trusted most? At the same time, if you walked into their wedding, would you have stayed silent or exposed them like I did?